revenues of about 6.7 billion baht, about 26% increase year on year from the first quarter of last year. All businesses exhibited growth. For the food business, we saw revenue growth of about 7%, which is quite stable. It's been about 7 to 8% over the past few years. And for the hotel business, we saw revenue growth of about 55%, which was mainly from the recovery of the hotel business, from the recovery of the tourism industry in Thailand, as well as because we started to recognize the sales of St. Regis units this quarter. We also started to sell our points for the Antara Vacation Club timeshare program, which also started to come in the first quarter of this year as well. And for retail and trading business, the revenue grew by about 21%, mainly because all the brands exhibited positive same-store sales growth. Also, we recognized the full-year revenue of Gap in 2011, whereas in 2012, we only had one store and also started to open Gap in March of last year. So it was only 1 month for one store sales, whereas for this year, it's 3 stores and full 3 months recognition of sales. We also recorded record EBITDA in 2011 for the first quarter. Mainly, as you can see from the graph, the green one that saw the most increase, it's from the hotel and mixed-use business, which increased by about 28%. It's slower than the increase in the revenue, which was about 55%, because we also had the reopening expenses of the 2 hotels, which were opened in February and April of this year, the antara in the Maldives, and also the St. Regis in Bangkok. We had about 100 million baht of pre-opening expenses in the first quarter of 2011. For for the retail trading business, we also saw about 67% increase in EBITDA because of the increase in sales as well as the better performance because of the operating efficiency and the operating leverage of the retail and trading business as well. We also reported record net profit of about 823 million baht in first quarter of 2011 because, as I mentioned earlier, all the businesses exhibited positive growth. Hotel mixed use was up by about 47%, while the food business net profit was up by 8%, and the retail trading was up by about 150%. If you look at the net margin, we also saw an increase in net margin from 11.3% in the year 2010 to about 12.3% in first quarter of 2011. Another factor that contributed to that is because we have lower effective tax rate in the year 2011 of about 14% compared to 21% last year, because we have 2 hotels that are still making losses because they're the new ones, the Anantara Hava and also the St. Regis. So those 2 hotels didn't have to pay tax, so resulting in the lower effective tax rate. And now we'll go into business update of each unit and also the outlook of each of the unit. We'll start off with the hotel and mixed-use business. The revenue was up by about 55% in 2011 compared to first quarter of 2010, while net profit was also up at about 48%. So the key highlights that occurred in the first quarter of this year includes we have the recognition of the sale of the real estate, the St. Regis residences. It's one of our major revenue contributor in this quarter. And also we started to have the contribution from Antara Vacation Club coming in this quarter as well, although the amount is still quite small. We just started the project in December of last year. The other thing that we opened Antara Hava in February of this year. It's our first wholly owned hotel outside of Thailand in the Maldives. And we also opened Antara Rasananda, which is in the Phangan Island in the south part of Thailand, which is our managed hotel under Antara brand. And in April of this year, we also just opened our St. Regis Hotel in Bangkok. Apart from that, the hotel business started to see gradual recovery. As you will see later in the slides, that the organic occupancy started to improve from the first quarter of last year. And also, the share of profit from 3 Maldives hotels have almost doubled. These are the 3 hotels that we have the 50% joint venture in Maldives. They are Antara Valley, Antara Digu, and Naladu. And the last thing is we also announced the acquisition of Oaks Hotels and Resort Limited in Australia in March of this year. We'll also have a slide to elaborate on that later as well. First update on the mixed-use business on the residential property development. Currently, we have 2 projects on hand. One is the Estate Samui, and the other one is St. Regis Residences. The Estate Samui is villas that are right next to Four Seasons Samui, and we have 14 villas. We've sold 7 during the year 2006 to 2008. So we have another 7 units that can be sold over the next couple of years. The other project that is more current is the St. Regis Residences in Bangkok, which is on top of our St. Regis Hotel. To date, we've been able to sell about 32% of the sellable area, so we still have about another 68% that's still in the inventory that can be sold. If you look at the graph in 2010 and first quarter of 2011, we've been able to sell and recognize about 22% of the total sellable area. So we still have another 10% that is actually sold, but still pending the transfer, which will be transferred over the subsequent quarters. And then we also have another about 10% of high potential, which the prospective buyers have deposited, but we're still waiting for the contracts to be signed. And also we still have the inventory of the Estate Samui that could be sold. And then for 2012, 2013, another about 30% of St. Regis residences can be sold, and still another about 1/3 each of the Estate Samui as well. So for the next 3 years, we still have the inventory, which the revenue will come in for the next 3 years. Another update is on the Antara Vacation Club, which is our timeshare project, which we launched in December of last year. It's our first own brand Antara Vacation Club point-based project. Although the amount is still quite small, but the sales have exceeded management's internal target, and we expect the momentum to accelerate over the next few years. Just to update you on a couple of things, the inventories and the sales and marketing. On the inventory, right now we are in the process of building more inventories, so we will have more points that we can sell. Right now we have 20 units of villas and suites in Samui that are ready since December of last year and can be sold. And we also have another 2 villas that we leased from Antara Phuket that we can use as well, which provides us with immediate inventory for the time being. At the same time, we have purchased about 30 rides of land in Phuket right next to our Antara Hotel, which we can build another 100 units of the Antara Vacation Club. These will probably be available by about the end of 2012. Other than that, we're also looking at other destinations as well. So hopefully by the end of the year, we'll be able to announce the destinations such as Bangkok and Bali. And in terms of sales and marketing, we have opened our sales and marketing offices in Phuket and also in Samui. Right now we have about 100 sales and marketing team staff, about 50 in Phuket and about another 40 in Samui at the moment. And we'll be looking at adding more in Bangkok for the sales office as well. So the way that these points are sold is that initially what we do is we have the booth or counters in the airports of Samui and Phuket, and then invite our prospective members to try out the vacation club, and at the same time we'll give them sort of like vouchers for incentives. And once we've accumulated enough, a certain level